The Man Who Accidentally Joined a Parade, 2019 Ireland. In the lively heart of Dublin, where music spills from street corners and strangers greet you like old friends, a particularly unforgettable scene unfolded in 2019. It began with a tourist, an ordinary traveler with an adventurous spirit, a camera around his neck, and a map that had somehow folded itself into a confusing origami puzzle. His plan for the day was simple: find a cafe, try a famous Irish scone, and maybe snap a few photos along the River Liffey. But fate, as it often does in the most entertaining stories, had a completely different agenda. As he wandered through the city, he noticed the streets beginning to fill with people: cheerful families, excited children, and groups waving colorful flags. Music echoed from somewhere up ahead, and a wave of shared energy rippled through the crowd. Thinking he'd stumbled into a festival, he moved closer, curious and delighted. But what he didn't realize was that he wasn't just approaching the festivities. He was stepping directly into the middle of them. With one innocent misstep, he found himself crossing into a marathon parade route, right between costumed runners and proud participants marching in perfect formation. To his surprise, the cheering grew louder. People began waving enthusiastically. A few even snapped photos of him. For a brief moment, he wondered if Dubliners were always this friendly, or if they simply really liked his jacket. Not wanting to appear rude, he did the only thing that felt natural. He waved back. And just like that, the confused tourist became an accidental star of the parade. As he continued walking, trying to figure out how to discreetly exit without causing chaos, spectators clapped, laughed, and shouted encouragement as though he had been preparing for this moment his entire life. A runner jogged past and gave him a thumbs up. A child handed him a tiny paper flag. Another marcher winked and said, "Fair play to ya," as though he had been part of the tradition for years. Finally, a parade volunteer approached with a grin so wide it could only belong to someone who had seen many odd things in Dublin, but perhaps nothing quite like this. With a friendly gesture, the volunteer guided him to the sidewalk, freeing him from his accidental debut. The crowd erupted again, this time in warm, amused applause. Later, as he finally sat in that cafe with his long-awaited scone, he couldn't help but laugh. He'd come to Ireland expecting history, music, and charm. He hadn't expected to become part of a parade. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.